Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken and Ken take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars and the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in their voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken and Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and love that great in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, their foes can't fight. From sports to politics.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. It's a Monday. It's Ken and Ken in the morning. Good morning, Ken. Good morning, Fred. Fred's busy up there in the frozen tundra. And you're still muted, Ken.
There. Now is this bitch finally fucking working?
Packer fans always a little slow in the morning. I get it.
God damn, that's what happens when you let Chicago fans start doing shit.
Yeah, I know. We start winning divisions and beating your team.
Yeah, super occasionally. Hey, man, like they say, a broken clock is right twice a day, man.
Yeah, this year was right 2 out of 3 times. So, hey, it's all good. Morning, Brent. So, hey, where's Joe this morning? Because it looks like Kubiak is going to be their guy because now Green Bay doesn't even have the best LaFleur as a coach. So I was trying to look it up. Is this the first time you've had brothers coach, two brothers being head coached at the same time? I don't think so.
You had the Harbaughs coaching together.
Duh.
That's why I looked at you like, what the fuck are you talking about here, guy?
Hold on a second.
Apparently, chug that sumbitch.
Okay, brain activating.
Wow.
But I mean, in the same conference, look, the Harbaughs have never been in the same conference before.
Okay, well, you had Rob and Rex Ryan. Granted, they weren't head coaches. It was a head coach in D.C., but they were both in the same conference.
Yeah, but I'm thinking head coach-wise, though, in the same conference. Now, I mean, yeah, I get it. I get it. Look, I'd rather be sleeping, Fred, all right? It's one day. But I mean, in the same conference, I didn't say the whole thing. Sorry.
Nice save there, Ken.
No, because the Harbaughs are obvious, but they're in different. One's been AFC, one's been NFC the whole time. They haven't both been in the same conference ever. Well, actually, that's not true. The Harbaughs were both AFC right now, aren't they? The Chargers. Mm-hmm. Why do I keep thinking the Chargers aren't in the AFC?
I don't know because they were.
I still think they're in San Diego. I don't know.
Shit, even back then they were still AFC. They've been AFC since the beginning.
You kind of forget about the Chargers, but yeah. So were the Harbaughs the first brothers in the same conference?
Oh, let's see.
But yeah, now they got the other LaFleur in Arizona in that trash heap. Interesting, though, another guy who is an OC stays within his division to take a head coaching gig, a la Ben Johnson. I always think those are kind of interesting when that happens. When a guy stays within his division to take his first head coaching gig.
The funny thing is, granted, it still got to do with it, but not exactly, is that when Matt LaFleur became head coach of Green Bay, he tried getting his brother as the offensive coordinator, and McVay blocked it. So
yeah, but you did block him for being a head coach.
Yeah, but that's kind of funny there that those three guys are all tied together with McVay and both LaFleur's. I block you from going to be the offensive coordinator for your brother, and now you're the head coach in my own division.
And then, of course, the other big news, the NFL Europe comes up again. They played in Madrid this year. They're going to play in Madrid next year. They're also going to play in Paris next year, as well as the 3 games in London and the game in Munich, and Rio. Wait a minute, and Melbourne.
The other brothers that you had were John and Jay Gruden, but they were different conferences. I'm not seeing anything about guys being in the same conference besides the Harbaughs.
Be interesting if one day you get brothers in a division.
That would be entertaining. Talk about a fucking real rivalry at that
Well,
point.
we could have had that this year if Harbaugh had gone to the Raiders. But speaking of Joe, here he comes.
Oh, there he goes.
Clint Kubiak, newest biggest fan. Joe, everyone.
How's it going, fellas?
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah, dude. So, I heard the news yesterday too. I'm not counting my chickens yet. I know that Schefter announced it and everything, but he still has time to back out. And this is the Raiders we're talking about. So,
well, I mean, and it's kind of weird because, usually that kind of news doesn't break till after the Super Bowl because obviously you don't want to become a distraction during the Super Bowl. So, if Shefty breaks this news, I'm sorry, you just burned a bridge with the Raiders, with Kubiak, with the Seahawks. You just burned a lot of bridges to post that. I mean, that's kind of, in one way, kind of stupid on his part because you burned some bridges if you had any to begin with. If you didn't have any, I guess maybe not. But I mean, dude, why would you do? I don't know. Now he kind of creates a distraction theoretically. That it's not like Clint Kubiak is going to take his phone calls anymore. You just Aaron Rodgers.
I'm a Raider fan, so I'm accustomed to the bad luck and the snake bitten franchise. Wouldn't it just be hilarious if the Seahawks come out and just absolutely lay an offensive egg in the Super Bowl? As soon as it's mentioned that he's the Raiders' next head coach, it's all of a sudden the Seahawks offense just takes a complete shit. Oh, dude.
I just found it weird that the news broke the way it did.
Yeah, me too. But I'm as a Raider fan, dude, we're like abused children. We're just waiting for dad to take the belt off. It's just you're so used to getting beat down that you're just waiting for the shoe to drop.
Well, now I'm waiting to start to see some player movement, right? I mean, coaches are pretty much done. Yeah, the Bears will hire an OC. But the Bears OC hire will be an OC in name only, probably, right? Because Ben Johnson calls the play. We got some coaching hires, OCs, DCs. Some of them are meaningful. Most of them, a couple of them are not. Like the Bears one, for example.
The Raiders would also fall in that category because Kubiak's going to call the plays, obviously.
Yeah, so whoever the OC is there is in name only. So it's one of the three, one of us could be it. I mean.
And you know what, Fred? That's it. We're all starting a collection. We're becoming the new Seahawks owner.
Let's invest all our money from YouTube. Well, hell, let me look that up really quick. Let me see how much that is. The number would be 0.
No. What we'll do is we're going to pay for it with our expected future earnings.
Well, you know what we could do? We could just take Billie Eilish's home and sell it because nothing's illegal on stolen land. And if her land's on stolen land, that means we could just sell the house because it doesn't belong to her anyway.
Well, remember, there's no need for there to be billionaires, so there's no need for there to be millionaires either.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, I'd buy a lot more into that stance if somebody donated most of their money away. Then I'd believe that.
Did Bad Bunny set a bad stage for this weekend's Super Bowl halftime show last night at the Grammys? Because once again, he had to run his mouth too. Come on, Ricky Gervais has said it great, right? Get up there, thank your agent, thank your family, thank your God, and get the fuck off the stage, right? I mean, Gervais was actually right. Well, he's right about a lot of things. He's just funny though. But like, so Bad Bunny, like, yeah, dude, we know you're an American. You're from Puerto Rico. Duh.
Yeah.
We know you're Puerto Rican, right? But he sets the stage like he's gonna do this very politically charged halftime show. And I was thinking, like, how is this going to go over with the NFL crowd, especially at the Super Bowl? Like, will there be audible boos and jeers and this, that, and the other? And I thought, well, wait a minute, the game's in San Francisco, and it's against Seattle. And now Boston, but I'm like, you know what, though? But NFL fans are a little different. They don't fall into those political realms as much. But I'm wondering, like, how much backlash is there going to be for this halftime show this weekend with Bad Bunny already set the table for disaster?
It's going to be 100% backlash because you're going to get the 50% of people that are watching that are going to have the backlash for the halftime show event itself. Then those other 50%, they're going to have backlash against the people having the backlash.
Yeah, like my wife's from Puerto Rico, dude. And she's like, Bad Bunny's trash. my wife's like, she's like, before she even got into his political stuff, she's like, he's just trash. Like, I'm not watching him. He sucks.
Yep.
I mean, it's like, come on. I mean, the NFL does so many things right in terms of marketing, in terms of, making us get sucked into the game. And then for the biggest game of the year, they do stupid shit.
Yeah, it's like, look, Dave Grohl is like a huge lib, but at least his music is good, dude. Like, they could have had the Foo Fighters do the halftime show again, and I would have been all for it, dude.
Yeah, well, you also know that Dave Grohl isn't going to get up there. He's not going to start making political statements. They're just going to play their music and let their art speak.
We have a bit more breaking news.
Uh-oh.
The NFL announces Paris will host a regular season game in 2026, and the Saints. No, I thought you said Madrid, not Paris.
No, I said Paris, but the Saints.
Oh.
I didn't say the part about the Saints. They haven't announced the Saints, but the Saints are the only NFL franchise with marketing rights in Paris.
Yeah,
so
they full blown announced that it's going to be the Saints.
All right, so the Saints are going to Paris, and they're going to play in the same stadium as Paris Saint-Germain. Very good, PSG, very good football club there. Man, I don't know, man. I mean, I look at Turning Point USA. I think they're still doing their halftime show. I wonder how that's going to be available and how many people are going to tune into that instead, or are just going to tune off the halftime show.
That's the one I'm going for. Is I'm just turning the sumbitch off.
I mean, the last good one, like it's funny because you used to get a memorable one year after year. You had Prince, you had the Rolling Stones. Was kind of like, yeah, I got it. They maybe dated, same with the Who, but like you always had some pretty good halftime shows going on. And like, okay, the last couple years, the LA one was good. I have to admit, the LA halftime show.
You got to give me the fucking Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, that with Eminem popping in and all that,
and 50 Cent dropping in on the fucking bar.
I mean, that was a kind of a cool throwback, But dude, you're talking almost all the tracks. You're talking early 2000s. I mean, it was a throwback. It wasn't current, right? Rihanna wasn't that bad. I mean,
she was all right
as she was. It was kind of not distracting, but I mean, Riri was okay, and Riri's music is not bad. I kind of like some of her stuff, but I mean, it's just like, what memorable halftime shows you really have?
Janet Jackson City.
I was gonna say Fred hit the nail right on that.
Like, ever since the Justin Timberlake Janet Jackson show, like they've been pretty tame.
Yeah, I thought of all of them, I thought the Foo Fighters did a good job. I thought Prince did it. I thought Prince was the best one, to be honest with you.
Oh, see, me, I personally go with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Eminem, but I'm biased towards.
And I wouldn't be mad at you for that. Mm-hmm. Like, I love Dr. Dre and Snoop. I just thought that Prince's was awesome, especially because of the story with the Foo Fighters. Like, the Foo Fighters covered a Prince song on their halftime show. So then they didn't ask Prince for permission. And then like all of a sudden when Prince does his, he's like, oh yeah, motherfucker. So he covers their song and does it pretty much better than them. And even they said like, he did our song better than us. How can we be mad? Like it's fucking Prince. Like Dave Grohl, like the story was great. Dave Grohl was just
But,
geeking
like,
out
if
because
you're in
Prince
San
is singing his song.
You're in San Francisco. What group is from San Francisco that's one of the biggest bands in the world?
Metallica.
Yeah. Hello, NFL. Hello.
Shit, and you could even have thrown G-Eazy in there for fucking a little more modern with it because he's from the Bay Area too.
Yeah, I don't think they were going to do
Dude,
Metallica. Metallica's old at this point.
The biggest rock metal band in history is Metallica.
Yeah.
And they are commercial. Like ever since the Black Album, they have a lot of commercialness to them. You could have done a Metallica halftime show, and the internet would have exploded.
Oh, dude, I wouldn't even say they have to play all their commercial stuff. I'd be willing to bet if they jumped into Master of Puppets, that whole stadium would go nuts, dude.
Jump into Master of Puppets because of Stranger Things, which I still think it's funny. After that song was in Stranger Things, all the little kids. Stranger Things is gonna blow this band Metallica, whoever they are, up. They're gonna get huge now. It's like I was like, oh, reading comments like that on X, you know, you're like,
Kids, man.
Today you're going, you just don't know. Bless your heart, bless your heart. But I mean, they could. I don't know why the NFL is so afraid of rock bands lately. Like Aerosmith with Nelly and Britney Spears was actually pretty good. That was a good halftime show for the day when that happened. But like, if you look at some, you know, they've been trying to do this urban whatever thing, but when they did Queen Bee, that was a flop. She was terrible. You know, I mean, they just, you know, I don't know. I mean, they finally got Eminem on a show, and Eminem's a great performer, right? He is a great performer, but like, I would like give me a full Eminem halftime set at least because he's at least a great performer. It's just like the NFL halftime show seems to be taking away from the game and not enhancing the game like it's supposed to. The halftime show used to enhance the whole experience. That and the commercials. Now both of those things suck, and sometimes the game has been pretty sucky too. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, man, Post Malone is going to make this Aussie guy huge.
Yeah.
No,
funny.
they didn't even know that it was Ozzy. That it was. They thought this was a brand new fucking Post Malone song. Now, granted, I will say I do like the Post Malone cover, but come on, you got to give the major credit to the man that fucking came out with it.
Well, and you have to give major credit to Ozzy, who on a whim did the whole thing with Post Malone and agreed to do 2 songs with him. I mean, just like the genius that Ozzy was. Like they could have done something like, and look at Ozzy was probably one of the biggest entertainment deaths of the last year was Ozzy, right? They could have done like an Ozzy tribute thing too, and brought some older bands up and played like a bunch of. They could have done some things, but the NFL, like I said, it just seems like for as savvy as they are in terms of getting international slate, of marketing the league during the regular season. And then you come to the crown jewel of the NFL, the Super Bowl, and they consistently degrade it year after year with these crappy halftime shows.
You want to know what part of it is? Is this exact moment right here. We're sitting here talking about it, giving them free publicity for it.
Well, we're an NFL show. We're giving publicity 365. Well, okay, not quite 365 days. We take Saturdays and Sundays off on this show. But 5 days a week, they're getting publicity from us, Ken. So it doesn't really matter if we're talking about it or not.
I was going to say, you got people talking about it that aren't even NFL dedicated. That's how much of it.
Yeah, but in a negative connotation, where more people are like, I was going to watch it.
All press is good press.
Well, that's the Donald Trump version, correct? But the problem is the NFL is not Donald Trump. They haven't learned on how to make the bad press work for you. That's their problem. Trump makes it work for him. The NFL does not. Like, there are people out there who make bad press into a good thing. Trump is one of them. he uses it properly. The NFL doesn't. They just keep doubling down on stupid, and then they wonder why market share goes down. So is Billie Eilish going to be like a special guest too, and they can both sing? There's nothing's illegal on stolen land, and really piss off everyone in the NFL fandom. I mean, it's like you got to be as apolitical as you possibly can in a thing like the Super Bowl. I mean, because there are a lot of reasons. But sports are supposed to be that thing that kind of unifies where your politics don't matter. But the NFL keeps injecting politics into the NFL.
Yeah. I'm surprised that they didn't have Taylor Swift do the halftime show. To be honest with you.
That would have made you know what though? That would have been that would have made sense, but actually probably would have had even worse backlash than Bad Bunny, and here's why. Because you have all the people who are anti-Taylor Swift with the Swifties being Kansas City Chiefs fans, blah, blah, blah. We've heard that stuff for like a couple years now, right? Now she's getting all this blowback for one of her songs in her new album, which is a love ballad basically to Travis. And they're calling her a white supremacist now. Oh, you're a trad and all this other stuff. Like she's getting left this blowback because of her song lyrics now. And now they're making her like, oh, you're a Nazi white supremacist. Like they're turning her into a Republican, I guess. So she might have gotten blowback, especially if you had done that song, which is from the current album. If she were to do that song at the Super Bowl, that would have been blowback that Roger Goodell doesn't like because the little lefties would have been mad.
Hey,
But
come on over, Taylor.
I know, but Swiftie, she would have made sense, honestly. She would have made more sense than Bad Bunny. And at least then you could say you've got the biggest artist on the planet in terms of album and ticket sales right now. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Bunny's not even mainstream.
And
I was going to say he is one of the most popular artists worldwide. That I will give them that.
Worldwide, yeah.
Yeah, but
we're talking about like Latin America. Like you might as well have had Enrique Iglesias come up there. Like
that would have been better. Enrique, even though he's dated and old and hasn't done anything in forever, would have been better. But I mean, the NFL once again just screwed it up. It's like, and then like when you come out and you antagonize fans, you better learn Spanish. Why? You start saying stuff like that, and then of course what he did last night, and you antagonize at least a large portion, if not half or more than half of the NFL fan base. That's not good for your show. You need to be, like I said, like this is tough because we're trying not to be political here. I know we're all making little political side jokes and stuff like that, but I mean, look this should be a non-political, apolitical situation, right? Sports in general should be apolitical. Like, yeah, give us Carlos Santana. He's just going to go up there, have a massive jam session, right? And people are going to feel good, and they're going to play the game, right? And that's what we want the NFL. We don't want an NFL halftime show full of political messaging. We really don't. Like, I want to watch an NFL halftime show like I did in LA. There was not a single political message in all of it. It was just Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Eminem and 50 and what, and there was no politics in it. Riri, no politics in her show. Granted, I think her being pregnant kind of like, not the NFL's fault, of course. Not that, that she can't perform while pregnant, but it definitely took away from her show, probably what she would have normally had done. But even with that, she did put out a pretty good show, that halftime show. It wasn't like forgettable. It wasn't exactly rememberable either. But it was a good show. It was apolitical. You felt good after it. Like, okay, this was cool. Like, I don't know why the NFL has to get this politically charged. Like, they could have gone with so many other people. They could have gone with Jelly Roll and had a great show.
Ice Cube?
Dude, yeah. Like, go with Cube, like an NWA throwback kind of thing.
Hell yeah, especially if you can get Cube and Dre on the same stage. Do like an old NWA throwback, dude, with a little tribute to Eazy-E in there, like.
Oh, I'd be all fucking over it.
Yeah, dude, like.
But they could have gone so many other directions. Instead, they went the politically charged route. Which, once again, Roger Goodell, what a fucking moron you are! You are so fucking smart with so much of the stuff you do for this league, and then for the crown jewel of the season, you do this. Like, really? It's almost like Bill Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame. It's almost as stupid as that.
Man, you know, you could have even had Luda get up there, like Ludacris. That would have been a good show.
Yeah, but like, who says you have to go to? Like, the other thing too. When was the last time they had a rock band
Well, but rock is
on
kind
the
of dead
show?
at this point, man.
It's actually
Unfortunately,
not. Rock is actually not dead. There are a lot of rock bands selling lots of records and lots of out and lots of singles, and there are some good rock bands you could put up there. Like, dude, you're telling me you couldn't put the Foo Fighters up there? You couldn't put Metallica
yeah,
up
but
in San Francisco? You couldn't have Metallica and have it be a big show?
no, yeah, but you're talking about bands that are like legends and established. Like I'm talking about new popular rock bands. There hasn't been for the last like 10 years
Up, you're
a huge rock band. The alternative rock scene and like the rock music scene. Like when was the last time you saw a rock video on MTV? Like
When
it
was the
just
last
doesn't
time you
happen
saw a
anymore,
video on
unfortunately.
I mean,
Well,
Joe, when
that's
was the
true
last time?
too,
I mean, if you want to
but
go
like
politically
but like
charged,
I'll give you an
you could
example.
always
So
you could have always
in the
brought Tom McDonald on the stage. I mean, shit, he's in California too. I'm sure he
so
would open up with the devil as a Democrat though, and that would probably piss a lot of people off. But I mean,
I think
so like we have a radio station called Live 105 in the Bay Area, right? And it's the alternative, it's the rock station, right?
dude,
And
Lincoln Park.
it specifically only plays stuff from like anywhere from 1990 something to like 2012, 2010.
Dude, you could
Like,
have Lincoln Park, who has a massive album out right now.
yeah, you can do
You
Lincoln
could
Park.
you could get Falling in Reverse to do something too. They're a big band. Hailstorm is a big band that's current. I mean, you could get Hardy, maybe not. But I mean, there's a couple. Hollywood Undead, you could get them out there. Um, and they're kind of like a hybrid, like not new metal, not hip hop, but kind of a weird hybrid of things. I mean, there's a lot of bands that you could have done a lot of things with. I
As long
mean,
as we don't get Maroon 5, I'm good with it, dude.
yeah. That Maroon 5 show is kind of, you know, hey, that was for the housewives, grab their wine and jam out. I mean, there are bands you could get. Lincoln Park is massive right now, especially on this big comeback album. They got a couple massively huge songs that have garnered, like the International Gaming Championship. They were the intro for Heavy as the Crown, right? And then they played the Champions League. You're telling me like Lincoln Park can do the Champions League championship, which is the biggest sporting event in Europe, right? But you can't bring them in to do the Super Bowl halftime show. I mean, Lincoln Park would have been massive. And you know what? Non-political, massive fan base, and no one would have bitched about it. It would have just been a great show. Like, you couldn't make that work, NFL? Like, oh, they're on tour.
I haven't heard their new stuff, but I heard that the girl who took over singing is really good. I heard that
she's legit. She's good. And she's a total fangirl with the old stuff. And like I saw a video the other day and she's just like clowning. It was hilarious. And they're having fun. That whole band's having fun. And like there's no backlash that she took over as lead singer from Chester. That was, I think, always a little bit of the problem from Lincoln Park. They're like, well, anyone who takes over is going to get Chester backlash. That has not happened. I mean, they are legit back. And I mean, there's been a small section.
I was going to say, I've heard backlash
dude,
about
the
it.
overwhelming majority has been in favor of it. Even those people are like, yeah, she's kind of good because she's not trying to be Chester. She's just being her, and the band has moved on. And the one that was cool thing that I never realized about Lincoln Park until this happened and she took over. Dude, did you realize that none of their songs, all their songs, the way they were written, they were written in such a way that it didn't matter who sang them. Like, there's no gender assigned to a lot of their things. It's very neutral. So her taking over singing the vocals doesn't make certain songs not make sense. You know what I'm saying? They all still make the same amount of sense because the lyrics were. But they could have done Lincoln Park, the NFL, and hit a home run.
next year.
They could. Too late by that point. They're in the studio working another album. You've missed the fire. I mean, you've missed the fire with it. In
Well,
this moment. That'd
but
be good.
realistically, the NFL is always kind of a little bit late with the Super Bowl shows. Like they never get somebody that's like super hot right now. So I think they could do Lincoln Park next year and they'd be fine. Or even
They
5 years from now,
I
they
mean,
could do Lincoln Park.
when was the last rock band that they had? Was it? That's a good. I can't remember the last rock band they had. That's the other
Eh,
thing. The NFL has been strictly R&B hip hop.
I was gonna say it might have been the Who there when they had their Pinball Wizard shit, because that's who did Pinball Wizard, right? Was who? Yeah. Then it was because of how bad that one went.
I
Because
didn't like that show.
yeah, neither did I. I thought that was one of the
Yeah.
worst ones I ever saw.
Let me see. Uh, I mean, they could.
Maybe they could get Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. You don't want everyone
Come on,
just
you
to
don't
get
like Pink
eyeballs,
Floyd?
dude.
I was
No,
gonna.
Pink Floyd is. All
Even
right, the
without
last
Roger
rock
Waters, you don't
band,
like Pink
yeah, the
Floyd?
Who. In 2010, it's been 16 years since we've seen a rock band in the NFL, and they did Bob O'Reilly, Pinball Wizard, Who Are You, Won't Get Fooled Again.
That make
McCartney in 05. That show kind of was okay. The Stones in 6, Prince in 2007, even though it's kind of rock funk. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers in 2008. Springsteen in 2009. Yeah, you haven't had anything. I mean, no traditional rock band has headlined it since in 16 years. Maroon 5 and Coldplay were played, but Coldplay wasn't that good though.
I like Coldplay.
But I mean, yeah, the NFL is like, come on, dude. Like they could have brought Lincoln Park out there and just destroyed Levi Stadium. And that place would have been just between the game that halftime. Oh, would have been great. No, Bad Bunny, who's going to alienate half the fan base, tell them they have to learn Spanish, and now he's going to be all preachy and political. It's like, no, just can we just get an artist who's just going to do their shit, and everyone's going to jam out, and feel good.
Oh yeah, especially if Lincoln Park, if that girl could do One Step Closer, like
She can.
really good, dude,
I've seen
like
her do it.
that stadium would go nuts.
But they have enough new stuff. They wouldn't even have to go into that. But they could. Yeah, they would. They have 3 or 4 songs off the new album they could play, and they could do like, 2 or 3. They could do 2 or 3 of older songs maybe. They would rip that stadium apart, man. And it'd be a great halftime show. Yeah, Pink Floyd with Roger Waters. Not being political at all.
No, I said even without Roger Waters, like I like Pink Floyd even without Roger Waters, but okay.
But I mean, or you could have had Metallica, who that's their home base. That show would have been huge. I mean that would have been. I guess Virginia is going to be Virginia Tech's the only football that Metallica does, right? With the intro. I mean, that concert they did there. They did a concert there. Oh my god, that place was nuts. Actually, that was another football stadium that set off seismic alerts because that place was rocking when Metallica played Virginia Tech. But I mean, they could have done that. They could have
They
done
should have got Jay
something.
Diggs. Oh wait,
They could have done-
Jay Diggs is locked up.
Yeah, I
But
don't
Diggs would have rocked
understand
that place too because he's a Bay Area legend, dude. Like
NFL creative when it comes to the halftime show. The last couple of years has just been lacking. Like Rihanna was okay, but the show was kind of lackluster. Like Rihanna could have been better. They could have done some other things with Rihanna. Like they could have brought Eminem out. They should have tried to do that again. They could have done Umbrella. That would have been great. But look, at Riri was actually pretty good. She was good. The Dre Snoop show, that was good. But for the most part, man, like these NFL halftime shows have just been sucking. And let's be honest, I'm not forgetting about TV commercials because they've been sucking too. I'm sorry. I don't want to sit there and watch 1,000 NFL commercials for AstraZeneca or whatever other pharmaceutical is out there. Like, what I miss the days of like the Budweiser commercials that used to just be so creative.
Mhm.
The Doritos commercials are still kind of creative. But like, or when the E Trade Baby back in the day, like, give me some good commercials. Even the commercials suck. The
Well,
GoDaddy commercials.
they went messaging with it, whereas the Super Bowl commercials used to be all about making you laugh and like being memorable. Now it's like it's all about a message. Like every commercial has to have a message, has to be sentimental and political, and it's like
can we get the politics out of football? We look at a lot of us are
one of my favorite Super Bowl commercials of all time was a Nissan commercial where they had like this squadron of pigeons that were like trying to shit on this dude's car as he just came out of the car wash, right? And they're playing the Danger Zone Kenny Loggins song. You remember that, dude? That was one of the greatest commercials ever, dude. Like I still remember it. It was like 30 years ago.
You went to work the next day, and all of a sudden you walk in. The second you walk in, you heard "What's up?" Right?
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like that, dude. Is like the Budweiser frogs were good too. I mean, there were. I mean, it's like the whole show has gone downhill. The game, there have been some great games that have saved the Super Bowl from being completely lackluster, right? But I mean, dude, you get these halftime shows have been terrible. The commercials have been sucky because the NFL now has a rule you have to have some political messaging in it. I swear, because they try to ban ones that don't. It seems.
And Louis the Budweiser lizard, dude. Remember how he kept trying to kill the frogs? He was like, and Louis was Italian, so he was always like trying to whack the frogs and like, oh, dude.
How many anti-government, anti-law enforcement commercials are we going to get during this Super Bowl? How much this political messaging are we going to get during the Super Bowl? I don't want to see it, dude. Like that's our 3 or 4 hours to get away from all this. Because you can't escape it if you watch the news at all. It's in your face every day, the politics. But now the NFL has to bring it to us on football day. Like, really? Like, really, NFL? Can the World Cup's not going to do that. Let the World Cup show you how it should be done.
The game itself, though, I'm actually I'm glad about the game because it's like, even though I don't want to see the Patriots win another Super Bowl, like, you got to hand it to Drake May, dude. Like, Drake May and that team to turn it around in 1 year from what they were last year to being in the Super Bowl, like, that's amazing. Yeah. And then, you have some great story arcs, man. Like Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold can win a Super Bowl, he forever shakes the bust label off his back.
He's the first one from his draft class to make it, the quarterback from his draft class. Hi, Alan. Hi, Josh Allen. To make it to a Super Bowl.
And so, does anybody here disagree with that statement? Like, if he wins this Super Bowl, that the bust label is forever shaken off his back?
Oh yeah. Because you got back-to-back seasons. I mean, the playoff run in Minnesota didn't end well, but then just the fact he's in the Super Bowl, I think it's gone. He did with a different team. I mean, he still has some moments. But you think back to what good quarterback doesn't have moments throughout the season where they have a bad interception game. Favre had them, Rodgers had them. They all have them. Yeah. Breeze had them. They all have.
I don't think it's gone. I don't think the best label is gone yet, though. I think if he comes out and he turns back into a pumpkin for this game, it will only fuel the bust discussion for him.
If he's even halfway decent, if he's decent, if he's just like internet beard decent, then I think it's gone. But like the question is this game going to do enough to save the Super Bowl? That's a sad thing about this. Like, we're at the point where this game, like we're hoping the game can actually save the event that is the Super Bowl. And I don't know if this game can. Like, I don't know how good of a game this is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
This game has to be one of the all-time classics in order for it to almost save how bad this Super Bowl is shaping up to be with everything else around it. And that's sad that the NFL has created this scenario where it has to be like the game of literally has to almost be the game of the year, which good luck topping the Packers-Bears playoff game or the Packers-Bear Week 16 game, right? Because those right now, those two games might be the two best games of the year or two of the best games
or the Seahawks-Rams game.
Or the Denver Giants game might be in there too. This game has to compete with those, and I don't know if it can, especially that Week 16 Bears-Packers game. I mean, that game might have been the best game of the year. You had to have all kinds of things happen. I mean, but the NFL has created a situation now where the game has to be a classic in order for this to be even considered a good Super Bowl because they've jacked up everything else around it.
Yeah, it's Quezzy, dude. Like,
Well,
Oh, did you hear him coming out and saying that? Oh, I wasn't sure how to scout players and that, so I used PFF for my scouting.
well,
I
I
didn't hear
think
him
he
say
got
that,
caught up.
but
I mean, Quezzy might have gotten caught up in the Leering Center scandal too, though.
it's. I mean, I'm not surprised that Quezzy got fired. Um, I think the writing was on the wall once Darnold took this other team to the Super Bowl. Like,
That's a hard job to fill too, because like, dude, you got a team there that's financially in a peculiar spot. Not terrible, not good, but it could hit a brick wall very easily. You got some talent. You're probably a quarterback away, right? Because you got enough talent. If you get a good quarterback in there, you can make a lot of noise, right? If you get a competent quarterback in there who's not
mhm.
injured all the time, right? Like you can really make some noise if you're the Vikings,
But
right?
unfortunately for you, this is a one quarterback class, and you're
And
probably
your
not getting them.
your draft pick sucks. You don't have the money now. That we had the Joe Burrow rumor that was out there. Like that would be actually a good deal. And even though you're giving up Gernard, he does chew up about a little over 50%, 60% of that salary issue there for that. And then by not having a first round pick, you're only short like $5 million off the cap, which once you restructure JJ, you're good, right? So I mean, but if they did something like that, wow. I mean, that's a hard job to take because like you have to commit really quickly the second you get there to get a quarterback in to win right now or just dismantle the fucking team. That's what you're faced with in Minnesota. It's like not an easy, and if you're going to try to get a quarterback, you got to work a lot of work to do with little. You don't have many resources to move around. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying for like honestly, because you can't build around a receiver like usually like look if you're a quarterback like if they're going to say in Buffalo say we're going to strip it down, you can strip it down and leave Josh Allen there, right? You can rebuild around the quarterback. The quarterback can stay. You can get rid of all the wide receivers. You can get rid of all the defensive players. You can get rid of all that and rebuild it around him, right? You just got the first thing you do. You build an offensive line with with your uh, established quarterback, and then you start picking up pieces in the drafts and free agencies, and lowering your resetting your billing, if you will. But if you're Minnesota right now, you don't have that quarterback to build around.
Yeah, and Brent, I didn't hear anything about him supposedly getting fired because of taking 2 weeks off for maternity leave.
Dude,
You
let's
can't do that.
face it. You guys
That
remember
would
Jetta did that Netflix kind of like undercover boss football thing, that show they have. You guys see that one, right? They kind of the players go on like undercover boss style, right? Like Baker did the first one, it was hilarious. So and like so they had Jet do it, and like everyone in the organization figured out it was him except for Quezzy. Quezzy, because he was they did the undercover boss thing, and he was taking the photos for the front office for the official game program. He was being the photographer, and he was hilarious doing it. And everyone figured it out except for Quezzy. Quezzy didn't even know who his biggest star player was with the makeup, with his voice, or any of that. He was the only one who didn't know. Think about that for a moment.
Yeah.
But yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
how
really
K-pop.
don't. I really don't think they fired him for taking maternity leave though, because that's an extremely bad look. And anybody who's a father, like, will know, like, when your wife just had a baby, she needs a lot of help in those first
I
two
never
weeks,
got
man.
maternity leave. I mean, what the hell? I never was given that. I was at work the next day.
Yeah, see, but and you're like, but if you could have taken it, you would have because your wife needed a lot of help. I'm sure, right? Like,
If it would have been non-charged leave, sure.
yeah,
If it would have
exactly.
been like, I would have taken charged leave, but if they would have given me permissive TDY, yeah, I would have taken that. I think that's what they give them now is permissive TDY, or yeah, or con leave they call it. I mean, I would have taken that. But if it was charged leave, no, I wouldn't have taken it. But I went to work the next day. I think they gave me. I took. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Because they were the only one I was active duty for was Dev, and he was born like at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I took that day. They gave me that day as a pass, and the next day I was right back in the office. But most units will give you like a 3 or 4 day pass. Anyways, would give you like a day or two off. But yeah, you didn't get the 30 days they get now. They get like 30 days of con leave. And then it's cool that dads are getting this time off. But I mean, yeah, I don't think they fired him for that. I think they fired him for a bunch of different reasons. I mean, look, Quezzy hasn't drafted well overall.
And if he's using PFF as a scout, we can see why.
But I mean, but like
you have the JJ McCarthy situation, which is like the huge elephant in the room.
I mean, well, once again, though, yeah. I mean, come on. If a guy's injury prone in college, what makes you think he's not going to be injury prone in the pros? I mean, and who was it? I was on Red Zone Rant Sunday yesterday. They were saying that they thought, who was it who said it? Maybe it might have been A-Dub. Was saying that was it A-Dub who said it? Maybe not. Anywho, that the Vikings might have gotten a little freaked out when Penix came off the board, and that's why they went with JJ. So
I can see that.
It makes me wonder though if Quezzy might have been able to save his job if he was willing to say, "Hey, look, obviously, like the JJ thing, that's on me. Like, but we need to look for a new quarterback going forward."
I think he was boned either way.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be interesting to see who's going to be their new GM because that's not going to be an interesting job to fill. It's I hope that's bigger news than the Super Bowl halftime show because man, I'm sorry, the NFL is having a bad press week.
Well, and like I don't know if you guys heard this in the Vikings press conference, but they're not even looking to hire a GM until after the draft. They're going with what they already have.
That sounds so terrible.
Well,
hold on.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
that sounds like the perfect Vikings.
That's what I'm saying. Is like because Ken just got done saying like that's already going to be a tough job to fill, but now like you're not even going to go hire a GM now to where he can have his first draft. No, you're going to give the people who have already been drafting for you another draft and another free agency. Then expect somebody to come in with players that they didn't draft.
Unless you're letting KOC do it, that might be a good thing.
I was gonna say if it's KOC doing it, I'd be willing to take the dice roll. But other than that, I think that sounds just so idiotic.
So here's the thing: if you look at the press week the NFL's had, you got Bad Bunny already pissing off NFL fans last night, and then the other stuff he said, and now the halftime show looked like it's just going to be an absolute shit show. You've got the NFL telling Bill Belichick, the winningest coach in NFL history in terms of the Super Bowl, and he's qualified 4 times over to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That he's not going to be a Hall of Famer because Bill Polian's pussy's hurt. And then you've got Quezzy being fired from Minneapolis, Minnesota, with everything else that's going on in Minnesota. You could take that for what you will. Not a good press week for the NFL. And then they try to say, well, now we're going to play games in Paris and Nolas and Go, which is not exciting New Orleans fans, probably. So just another downer. That's, they would have been better. I mean, was that their damage control for last night for Bad Bunny pissing off NFL fans to say, hey, guys, we're going to go play a game in Paris and Nola, you're it. Like, did they think that was going to be their damage control? I mean, dude. I mean, the NFL is not having a good press week coming into the game of the year, and we'll see what on Wednesday or Thursday. I mean, I'm sure we'll get the leakage. Have we got any leakage of who's in the NFL Hall of Fame draft class this year? Who got in yet? Has there been any leakage yet?
Not anything that I've seen.
Let there be like a major snub, like Drew Brees not get it. We didn't hear Manning's not going to get in. That much we did hear.
Yeah, Eli's not getting in.
But let Drew Brees not get in to this Hall. I mean, they're just setting this up for failure. Like, I don't know why the NFL continually shoots itself. I mean, Well, I know why they do it, because they know that the fans don't care that next season they're going to come back. But why do you keep degrading the Super Bowl? Wouldn't it be funny if the Bears Packers Week 16 has a bigger domestic draw for the game than the Super Bowl does? You know what I mean? Are we going to get to the point where some of these regular season games are going to get bigger audience draws than the Super Bowl? Because my God, I can see it going that way. The Super Bowl is not as big as the draw as it used to be. It just isn't. Because the NFL keeps sabotaging. Maybe they just bring like Dave Chappelle up there for do a halftime show. That might be fun.
I'm cool with that.
You just have to watch it.
Man,
Do something different, because NFL, what you're doing is not working. You haven't had a rock band on in 16 years. You keep making this all political with the commercials and the halftime show.
I'd even be down for like a halftime of celebrity boxing.
That's what I want the most.
Give us some celebrity boxing matches, dude. You know what
Just
I
give
mean?
me some feel good music that's not politically charged. Even I don't care if it's pop or not. I don't care if it's pop. Like, make it pop, cool, but make it feel good music that people are going to enjoy that isn't politically charged. Like Taylor Swift, yeah, she would have been great. Everyone would have been vibing. Even if they hate Taylor Swift, they would have been vibing.
I would not have been.
They'd be doing a little bit of this. They wouldn't be bitching and complaining. Everyone, look at Taylor Swift's got at least one song that everyone vibes to, that they hear and like, okay, that's actually not a bad track.
Nope, not with this guy. As soon as I hear
remixes, dude, some of the remixes I've heard a couple of remixes that have been pretty damn good.
Yeah, and my daughters are I wouldn't call them Swifties, but they like some of her music, and yeah, there's a couple of songs that I can be like, oh, well,
there are a couple songs that I like. There's one or two songs I like because rock bands have covered them, and then when they do the mashup, right? Quasi videos on Speakeasy. That must be another app that these kids use. What is Speakeasy besides a bar? Just saying. But they could have done something like Taylor Swift would have made more sense. Because then they could have done like Taylor Swift, and like I said, a couple of her songs have been covered by rock bands. They could have brought one of those rock bands on to do the song with Taylor Swift, and it would have been freaking hilarious. It would have been great. You know, they could have done some cool stuff like that. But, you know, because there's the other thing, like the mashups used to be pretty cool. They used to get some mashups back in the day.
I mean, even
like,
Carrie Underwood, shit. Like,
yeah. There's a lot of things they could have done. Like Bad Bunny is just the worst. You could have had Jelly Roll, and he could have brought up all kinds of people. You could have done, you know, I mean, there was ways to make this more. If you want to be multicultural, you could have done it a lot better than bring up Bad Bunny. First word is, y'all better learn Spanish because none of this is going to be in English. Like, that's a really good thing to say to most of America. I guarantee you a lot of most football fans aren't running around to learn Spanish to listen to Bad Bunny at halftime. They could care less.
No, but the game itself, I think, should be pretty good, though. It's going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, we'll have to get into the game more as we get closer to as the week goes on. Today was just like I had to rant a little bit about just the stupidity of the NFL and just how they're taking the crown jewel and tarnishing it more and more every year when they have so many good opportunities to do so many good things. And instead of doing that, they choose to be political and to alienate huge swaths of the fan base.
Oh, you know what would have been a great halftime show? Lil Wayne, dude.
Absolutely. I would have been.
That would have been a good fucking halftime show. He's actually coming to Bottle Rock in Napa in May, dude.
And that's like Lil Wayne. You could have brought Limp Bizkit on. You could have brought Flaming Hanley on, who basically even Lil Wayne says does Lollipop better than he does. Like, you could have done some stuff like that and had some great crossover things.
Shit, you could have even brought Drake on after you brought Kendrick last year. Like, you could do Drake. Give Drake his chance to fire back, dude. Like,
I mean,
now I hate Drake, but I would absolutely watch every second of that performance.
But you know what? Like the NFL used to have this thing though. Like they'd bring some of these hip hop guys on and they'd bring rock bands on and do these great mashups, right? And people dug it. Like you could do that and people would still dig it. And there's like Lil Wayne's a great example to how they could have done something like that.
Yeah, Lil Wayne would
And
have been dope. But come on, Ken, like you don't you're telling me that like I'm not saying I like Drake's entire catalog, but the man has hit after hit after hit, dude. Like that dude has some hits, bro.
doesn't he have a
another one I
mashup
can't-
or two as well, Drake? Has he done some rock band work too, where they could have brought someone else? Because look at the halftime show, like it's always great when they bring up other acts that you're not expecting, right? Or you could. I mean, who are they going to bring on with Bad Bunny? I doubt Metallica is going to be on the stage with Bad Bunny or Linkin Park or any of those types of groups. Like, I don't think he's done any crossover work or has anything that's even.
I'll tell you one mashup that I heard. It was around Christmas time, and they did a mashup of Drake's "Money in the Grave" with Wham's "Last Christmas." And that shit fucking hit hard, dude. I swear to God, it did. Whoever did that mashup, like, it was dope, dude. Like, they had this video on Facebook of this chick. She was just driving around in her car doing like donuts and shit, and she was like just getting stupid in her car, listening to this mashup of Drake with Wham, and it was actually pretty clean. I was like, damn, that's dope.
Yeah, there's so much stuff the NFL could have done. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to halftime, nor am I looking forward to commercials this year. It's just like the game better be good, man. And we're going to talk about the game throughout later as we get in the week. But I'm like, everything else surrounding the Super Bowl this year just seems kind of blah. And like even NFL honors, the fact that we know that Belichick has got snubbed, dude, really? I mean, and they better keep NFL honors apolitical. If they start going off the political off ramp like they did on the Grammys last night, it's just going to be another shit show award show.
I was going to say that's why I watch no award shows. I
know.
I sincerely could care less about somebody sitting off at a podium in front of the mic and just jerking themselves off in front of everybody. I don't care.
I mean, it's like keep it sports, keep the politics out of it, Roger. I mean, the song from Ballers with Lil Wayne, yeah, that's a good song too. I have that on playlist. I mean, they could have done a lot of things with it, and we'll see what they do with the. Dude, they're gonna have
especially if they got Lil Wayne, you could even like just bring Eminem out for one song and let them do "Drop the World" together. Like,
but think about it, you could have done you could have done the intro from Ballers and had like The Rock come on stage, just showing up because he was the main character. I mean, there's a lot of things they could have done. And then like look at they got a hole. They're already digging themselves out of a hole for NFL honors because of the whole Bill Belichick thing. Like, how's that going to be addressed throughout the show? Because someone's going to say something.
That'll be one of the ones where, all right, the only rule is you don't mention Bill Belichick.
Man,
I could see the NFL saying that.
Only the NFL could take what's been actually a really good season and ruin it in the last week. Only the NFL. Overall, this was a great season we just completed. Some great storylines, some great turnarounds, some phenomenal games that will forever live in the annals of history, especially with some of these rivals. You're telling me these Packers-Bears games weren't some of the best Packer-Bear games we've seen in the last 30 or 40 years?
Yeah, but I think also, if we're being honest, officiating again has become a problem, especially in playoff games. It's starting to become more obvious.
That's systemic, though. That's. I think it's systemic, and it's more like I think it was there in the 80s and the 90s, but just the eye wasn't as much on it since instant replay came in, and now everyone can look at everything in super slow mo, and But yeah, I agree with you. But we'll talk about that some more tomorrow. We'll talk maybe about some officiating tomorrow and how Fred's like the season sucked. Hey, you had a winning record, Fred. Don't be mad.
I'm with you, Fred. This season was so fucking weird and upside down.
But hey, we'll let JB talk about how bad the Lions season was in about 30 seconds. Make sure you go give JB a watch. He'll be talking Lions football here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Great way to start your week, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.